Hello, everybody. This is AL Thick Madame. I have missed y'all. Oh, Lord, y'all. Oh, I had a long week. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into this review. So, the episode started off 2 years where we left off last time, which was them, you know, getting married at a 24-hour wedding chapel. And I was just like, oh, Lord. But anyway, y'all, tell me why they open it up and they show gently outside cleaning up some stuff. They'd had a party, and I thought she had on one of these like do-rag head wrap things that was like for a longer protective style. So then she came in the house and I was like, oh, she done straightened her hair. Okay, she done went off randomly. So, and I mean, it's literally a hairstyle that I've worn before. And all throughout this episode, the slight way that she would change it, it's literally hairstyles that I've worn that are protective styles. But her hair was straightened. So I was like, huh, interesting. Anyway, y'all, so Evan is trying to get another investor because one of the investors, I guess the main investor, dropped out, and they're still trying to go forward with the app and all that. And Gently is still trying to be that backbone, that rib, and all that, and that's cool, but it seems as though she's losing herself within the marriage and in Evan. And she had a flashback to that day when they did this exercise at the what in the world? But anyway, they did this exercise at the chapel, and well, at the church, when basically the pastor was saying that she's going to have to be his rib. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And they jokingly try to be like, we ain't here for that. And like, she's literally living that right now. And it's like, it's kind of like, dang, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. And it seems as though she's, I don't want to say it like this, but it's kind of like she's dimming her light for him. And I'm going to say that later on in one of my thoughts posts about somebody else who, in one of these TV shows, I'm just not here for. And she really seems to be dimming her light for this raggedy person. But I digress. So yeah, y'all. She'd have had a moment, a flashback, and it's like, she really does seem like she's losing herself in him. So y'all, she is now at Miss Luma's house, and I think that she's handing over the reins to a new person. She's training this young man on what to do. It's not going well. Like, he is clumsy, and I'm just like, bruh, you gonna have to do something. Apparently, he just ain't got it like that. And in all honesty, in real life, like, this is real life. Some things with a lot of people, it just happens. With the chemistry that Gently and Miss Luma have, it is just inherent the way that she caters to Miss Luma. There are things that she does that it's just something that she just does because she knows that's what she's supposed to do. It's inherent. It is just inherently the type of situation that is. And I don't think that boy got it. I don't know if it's going to last, but whatever. So anyway, she ends up telling the boy to go put some gas in her car, and he leaves, and Gently and Miss Luma have their little girl time, and they're talking, and they're both excited because it seems as though Miss Luma is going to get a TV show on an all-access type of a network. And, I mean, everybody is very optimistic at this point and, really happy. Y'all, tell me why. Evan is, now at one of his meetings, and they're discussing how things went down in flames with the other investor and how he needs to give this other person a chance. And so the guy who works with him is like over in the corner looking at him like, no, don't do it. And Evan is, looking like, okay, what we got to do, and ultimately he is going to have dinner with this person to see what's going on with them, to get a feel for what she has going on, because apparently she just got money to throw around. and he just want to see what she talking about. Y'all, he had a one-on-one meeting with the dude, and old boy was like, what are you doing? Like, we built this from the ground up without these people. We don't have to sell our souls. And so he looking at him like, look, man, we can make money and still help the community. Oh boy, is not he like this is what happened the first time when everything was just a thought. He was like, no, you can't afford to build it. Everyone was like, I feel like we can afford it. I feel like the dream is going to sell itself and we're going to be able to pay all this extra money that you're saying we're not going to be able to pay. It went forward in all these ventures. Everything has panned out so far. But to be honest, I just feel like there is no equal partnership, or at least he doesn't value his opinion like that. Because every time he says something to him, he does the complete opposite. It's like in one ear and out the other. So I'm like, sir, at this point, you might as well stop wasting your breath and be like, well, whatever you say, yes or massa, basically, like whatever you trying to do, okay. Because see, that's exactly what he gonna do anyway. So I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, because that's literally all that has happened this entire time. So y'all, anyway, what else, y'all? So later on, they show Miss Luma and her agent sitting down in her home, and she's there to deliver bad news because that gig fell through. And it fell through because out of nowhere, other people heard about it and they wanted to get on board with it. And it's like, that's crazy for something that is going to be on like at 1 or 2 something in the morning when ain't nobody really watching TV like that, like on the type of network that it's on. Like, they came out of nowhere, and in my mind, I kind of feel like it's still blackballing. They just been continuously blackballing this woman her whole life, and it's a wonder that she's still been able to, stay afloat. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. But old girl was like, I went hard for you. I went off. And, they please believe they know what it is, because I went off because they were wrong and they shouldn't do this and it's not fair. And Miss Luma, despite all that, she was just like, I appreciate you. I thank you. You hung in there with me for all these years. You've been my agent. I appreciate you. And it's like she sat back and she was able to laugh. Like, she really laughed and was like, it's okay, it's all right, this is life. And she just laughed about it. Y'all, gently was fuming in the back. She in the background, like, done. And, like, I think Evan FaceTimed her, and she was in her feelings. She crying, and he's trying to understand what she crying for. And she explained the situation. And eventually, he brought up the fact that he may entertain guests later and that he's going to need her to host everything at the house again. And so, eventually he was going to, let her know some of the things that she was going to need to go pick up from the store if they didn't have it at the house. Y'all, the boy who gently is training, he's just, I don't know if he going to make it. I do not know if he going to make it. Oh, Lord. So, I can't. Anyway, y'all, let me see. Let me make sure I ain't missing nothing. But yeah, before I go any further, back when Evan was discussing everything with the partner, with the guy that he's working with, he eventually had a flashback when the conversation was basically over. And it was to his parents, their engagement party, where one of his mother's sorority sisters was like, well, I saw these newspaper clippings and articles or whatever, and she was like, I'm trying to figure out why my nephew ain't on that top 20 or top whatever of Black entrepreneurs and, all this other stuff. And it's like he kind of, I guess he kind of feeling like he has failed a little bit because he hasn't reached that goal. So he ain't where he want to be either. So it's just, ain't nobody where they want to be. Everybody in their feelings. Y'all, I don't know. It was just a lot. Okay, y'all. So anyway, later on in that day, After Gently left from her, I guess you might as well say former boss's home, she went to see her daddy. Y'all know, the main daddy. Y'all know he gonna forever be the person who was sleeping with cousin Faith on Soul Food. But anyway, she went to see him and talk to him, and kind of discuss the different things that's going on, and had to, or remind her again that we ain't, we all ain't the same. Y'all, I done jumped ahead. I'm like, what am I talking about? Huh? Anyway, y'all, so she went home and she was getting everything together for the dinner party that they're gonna host, right? And Evan sneaks up on her, and that's when she eventually tells him about the idea that she came up with, which is Miss Luma can do a podcast. That is something that is on trend. Everybody live for it, and that means that she would still be able to get out all the content that she needs, and people wouldn't now. If they didn't know about her before, they would definitely know about her now. So he was like, "Oh, that's great." And then he kind of like immediately goes into, did you get uh this and did you get that and all this other stuff. And so he's panicking because the woman won't bourbon and all this other stuff. And so at first she didn't want to say nothing, and then she, went into gently mode, and she was like, "You don't care. You don't care about nothing that I'm talking about. Don't even try to act like you care." They had a whole fight, and she was just like, "Your stuff, my stuff is just as important as your stuff." And so he was like, he read her basically and was like, "You trying to say that what you talking, a podcast is more important than making this money?" Because she don't pay no bills up in there. I mean, she don't. And it was his house and all that stuff before they got together. I'm gonna need for her name to be on the deed. I'm sorry. After all this stuff that's going on throughout this episode, I'm like, girl, I hope you were smart enough to get your name put on the deed or something, because I don't know what's going on. I'm talking about they had a whole knockout, drag out fight. I was like, what in the world? Y'all, so anyway, they had a fight. And then they have a little while before the people are going to arrive. And so she was just like, look, whatever, just do what you're going to do. So he was going to go take a shower. Y'all, she called herself making up with him, doing the little thing that that I've heard people do. They done argued down, and then all of a sudden, oh, we gonna have makeup sex, and she's still in her feelings. So I was like, girl, what was the point of you going in there if you were still mad? It wasn't resolved, so there was no reason for you to go in there like, oh, we're on good terms now. No, you're not. So why is we acting like we're on good terms now? No. Y'all, anyway, no. So they ended up doing another flashback for Gently, where, that day when they were at the cake tasting, like literally her for real cake tasting, the person who she wanted to be at, the one who was going to provide the cakes for her wedding, when her daddy was talking to her and was like, look, he might be in love with what you got going on and all that, but he would never be you. He would never be like us. They are completely different from us. You need to always remember that. And it's like she really fought hard to be like, no, he's not like that. He's not like that. But you see his mama. It's hard to not rub off when your mama like that. Your mama be doing the most, sir. So I'm gonna need for you to act like you know what it is. So Gently is having this moment where she was just like, well, dang, he really is like them. So right before the little dinner party was going to start, when the people were going to arrive, it's not even a dinner. Well, it's a dinner party, but not really. It's just the woman and her husband. Before they arrived, Miss Luma's agent calls her from this place where she was talking about ear hustling. And I was like, girl, are you trying to be funny? But the name of the place was Ear Hustle or Ear Hustling or whatever. And so it looked like a little party spot, but they were talking about podcasts and all the other stuff. So basically she was like, look, I'm here. My nephew invited me to this place. It ended up being like, by chance, like amazing, like the stars align, like this is the perfect opportunity. This is it for Miss Luma. Like this literally is the opportunity. This will really catapult her. So she was like, oh, well, I'm hosting this thing for Evan. And so she was like, well, you support him all the time. He should be able to support you, whatever, whatever. And so she was like, well, you know what it is. You can just, tell them what it is. And so she was like, no, I need someone like you to be the face. I need for you to come over here and express what it is that, you trying to get going for her. And she was like, look, I'll try to see and do what I can do. So Evan overhears the conversation and was like, who is that? And so she kind of explained, but then she was like, let's just get this over with. Let's just get this going. And I'm like, Lord, Lord. I would have been like, Lord, let's just not. Like, it's too much. So the dinner party is going on. It's going well, right? Y'all, because she has backpacked throughout Europe and all this other stuff, you know that she's well versed in certain, certain beverages, the wines and the cheeses and the different languages. The woman's husband speaks a few languages, and she's over there spouting out the names of these cheeses that I ain't ever heard of. I think I might have heard of one of them before. And like, they are like very impressed by her. Evan's sitting over there drinking and looking like he mad a little bit, like he hating. I'm like, ain't you glad? This is like something that's helping you to get the home run that you're looking for. Like, why are you over there looking all? Anyway, y'all, I was tired of my spirit. Y'all, so when the people first came in the house, right, tell me why the woman was like, oh, this is such a beautiful home. Y'all gently done went all the way off. She was like, oh yeah, this is Evan's home, and yeah, all this. I was just like, girl, no, not his home. I was like, you're his wife, don't say that. Like, she was just tired. I was like, no ma'am, don't do that. But yeah, it's like he kind of tried to smooth it over because the woman went over to some artwork that obviously, Gently had a hand in. And she was like, oh, you have to let me know who the name of this artist is because I gotta get it. And so he was like, oh, well, yeah, that's all Gently. And, she would have that information and whatever. I was like, Lord, this is a lot going on right here. Y'all, so Gently was like in the middle of talking, or they were in the middle of talking or whatever, having a good time. Her hand starts bleeding. Earlier in the day when she was prepping, she cut her finger, right? And so I guess she thought it had stopped bleeding or it stopped bleeding for the time being. And so then out of nowhere, she starts bleeding. And so Evan is like, oh my gosh, let me get you a Band-Aid. She was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go, take care of that. You stay right here. Like, it's just like, she ain't here for nothing. And I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I'm in my feelings and I'm not fooling with you, like, I don't want an umbrella. I don't care if I'm freezing cold. I don't want you to put no cover on me. I don't want a hug. I don't want nothing from you when I'm in my feelings. I know it. I know it's bad, but I like will really be beyond petty with you to the point where it is just like borderline mean. If I'm mad at you and you my man, I ain't got time. It's bad. I'm sorry, y'all. It is bad. Like, I really would be like, I don't want nothing. Don't be trying to offer me no food. No, I don't want nothing to eat. I ain't hungry. My stomach could be all of that. Wow. I don't even care. I ain't hungry. I'm good. I don't want nothing. Nope. You want to go somewhere? Nope. I don't want nothing. I'm good. I'm so petty. Oh Lord. That's exactly what I thought of when she did that. She is tired. Like, at this point, she is so done. So yeah, it was so bad that he had a flashback to earlier that day when she was like, do you even care about anything that ain't got nothing to do with you? Like, right after that happened and she walked off, that's exactly what he thought. And I was just like, that was your memory? No. No. And she over there in the bathroom, like rinsing her hand off, her finger off. And she's like thinking back on their actual nuptials. And she in the mirror like, she is done. I'm like, girl, it's 2 years in. Why are y'all done? Like, she really looks like she is over all of it. Look like she will walk out and be like, here go the divorce papers. I'm tired. And she don't want nothing from him. I was like, girl, no, don't shake the head now. So some time has passed and she, patched herself up. So she went outside where she saw the woman, the investor's husband, out there just enjoying a beverage. And so they're talking, and he, brought up the fact that knew of her excursions and such, and wanted to know, like, when was the last time she did all that stuff. And so she was like, wow, it's been a while, basically, since she's been married, after, I guess, their honeymoon. Pretty sure they went on one. She's just been at the house doing nothing. And she normally does not stay home more than like a week or a couple of weeks at a time before she's going somewhere. But she ain't done nothing in the longest. So he was like, well, you should get out there. Your life provides you, to be able to do that type of stuff. So why don't you do it? And so she was like, I'm just, trying to be a good wife to my husband. And I have a husband. I don't want to leave my husband. That man was like, look, my wife is my wife, and we together, and I travel all the time. I stay traveling at least 6 months out of the year. I stay traveling somewhere. And a lot of the times, the places that her business takes her, that's when he's able to travel too. And even though they're not really experiencing the amazing stuff about it together, he is getting that traveling in, and he is living for it. And he was like, you need to live your life. You need to get out here and do what you've done before, because you seem like you ain't living like you used to live. And that's when she actually had like a flashback to when they discussed, like, you gonna get your app, and I promise, you promise to get your app, and I promise you that I'll continue to do what I'm doing as far as traveling is concerned. And she, like I said, has gotten lost in this situation. Y'all, meanwhile, he in the house talking to the investor, and she just drinking up all the bourbon. And it gets to the point where she like, look here, all you need to know is, I hear you about your app and all that. I'm here for it. It is what it is, but I'm here for the information. I'm here for the research. That is what is the selling point for me. That is what is going to really, make me some money. Like, forget that app. But like, she was not here for that. She ain't here for that app. She's like, the information, all this research is where the money is at. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. And I mean, she was just like, look, I know my reputation precedes me. I'm just telling you what it is. Basically, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. Lord, so we at the end of the episode, and he's basically, I guess, sealing the deal with this heifer. And Jenny's outside, and she sees them cheersing to the future. And it's like she goes over in her mind their first date when they went to that cheesecake place, when he chose one cheesecake over the other. And I think she wanted the Oreo, and he didn't choose that one. And she was like, where would we be if I would have chosen the Oreo? Because you're talking about making somebody happy versus, just doing whatever. Because in her mind, she felt like, oh, well, if I want to go to a certain fancy restaurant, that's not what I want to do. I want to go somewhere that's not all upscale and all that. And in her mind, she was like, well, we wouldn't be together if that's what you was trying to do. And so she had that moment. And she called old girl to try to see if she was still at the place. And she was like, well, I'm on my way. Trying to get the people to stall so she can, talk up everything she need to talk up dealing with Miss Luma. So I don't know how this is going to go. It's looking like it's somewhat on the rocks. And I'm like, how they going to come back from all this? Like, it just ain't panning out how I thought it would. But anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review and all that good stuff. I'm gonna come back later on. I don't know if it's gonna be after I come back from the store or not, because I'm gonna go to Walmart and see if they have some soap. I keep everything stocked up. I just want to see if they have some soap. I don't need no hand sanitizer. I wash my hand. People need to learn how to wash. I ain't gonna get into that on this video. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later on. Bye.